Hello, friends. Welcome into the Eric Zane Show podcast. This is a daily show where I discuss news, nonsense, and my personal adventures from right here in the Impact Power Sports studio. Impact Power Sports. You can find them online at impactpowersportsmi.com. They're awesome. More on them in a bit. I want to get right to some things. First of all, apologies on being super late today, but I kind of felt a little senioritis. I just was slow. And then at about the time that I wanted to get started, I realized I hadn't fed Bruce. And so I had to make him his breakfast. Now, Bruce is not a typical dog, at least not right now. He's always been a little bit of a struggle to get him to eat. But the poor guy, he's having this issue that I'll talk about in a second. By the way, Darla got herself a hoodie. I don't know if O'Neill needs one. He's got two coats of fur, but those two actually get cold. But the dude has to eat after yesterday's visit to the vet, and I'm actually going to cover that. But I had to cut up 2 hard-boiled eggs and add some rice and then all sorts of other shit to it, probiotics for his gut, and then feed him, okay? Because he's got a sensitive stomach, man. Yesterday was bad. That vet trip, I talked about it on the Patreon. So this one was only $700. I was talking with Murder Lover Linda that I'm averaging one of those big hitter bills a month. That's actually, of the last 4 months, the lowest vet bill that we've had. X-rays were expensive. No obstruction. I'm glad I brought him. He was crapping blood before we left. Don't know what's going on. They did the complete once-over on him, examined him, X-rayed him. Doc says there is nothing he has consumed that could be causing this issue. His intestines are just really angry at him. Okay, so then medicine, special care, away we go. When it was 15 minutes before 10 a.m. here, and I'm like, oh my God, I haven't even fed the poor guy. I got to feed him. So that took some time. That's the Reader's Digest version of why I'm so damn late. And then I had to go ahead. I realized that I had to put there's a couple things you may notice about Twitch. I didn't want to have to do this, but yesterday there was another problem, and I'm not very comfortable. Something happened yesterday that made me extremely uncomfortable. And I don't have a lot of ways to protect myself or keep myself. Anything that affects my anxiety or my serenity. All right? And that came into play yesterday. I know I'm being vague. I'm being vague on purpose because I'm a nice guy. But we had another overstep yesterday. And I had to, again, kick ass and be the meanest motherfucker, because that is the only way these psychos who I've had to deal with in the past might get the message. All right? Nick says, spill the beans, Dick Tease. I'll tell you Sunday. I will tell you personally on Sunday over a Nupo. I cannot tell it because it's a bad scene. All right? It's a real bad scene. But I took some time today, and now the only way to comment, I know that the trouble cannot subscribe to this. There are things in place that are keeping this problem from subscribing. And so what I did was I went ahead and made it so that the only people who can chat are subscribers. Because you see, if I start talking, I'm going to give more information than I want to give. There's just some things I just don't want to give about this, but I haven't been this angry in, dare I say, years. And I didn't like it. I didn't like that I had to do it. I actually liked that I did it. I take it back. I enjoyed doing it because I was so goddamn mad. I'm still mad. All right? Very frustrating. Remarkable. I don't want to say anything else because you're going to be like, God damn it, tell me. But the only reason why I'm telling you this much is because because of the parameter I just put on here that you can only chat now if you are a subscriber. I can't. I better not say another word. It's so frustrating. It's just so bad that I have to do this and put you all through this. My apologies. My sincerest apologies. Chris says, was it me when I spotlighted Linda's note about calling the vet? I didn't. No. It has nothing to do with any of you. None of you. None of you have anything to fear at all. All right? I will say nothing more. I know you're like, come on, but your need to know will fade over time. Alan says, tell us a hypothetical story that may or may not be true. Okay, I want to tell you, but I'm not going to. Shut up. Okay, stop. You stop it right now. And the only reason why I'm not telling you, you see, even I can't even say that. I can't even tell you why I don't want to tell you. Stevie says, let it go, guys. You'll make Dad mad. No. I want to thank Brad B., Matt Kuipers, and Matt Steenwyk. Those were the three that put us over the top for the Great Food Giveaway. Congratulations to all the audience. Thanks for all the help. We have raised more than $5,577. I'm just going to say $5,600.75. Thank you. The big news, though, and I don't think I talked about this yesterday on the free show. I talked about it on the Patreon. Yes. Right at about that time, I got a $1,000 donation over and above the $5,600 from the Mike Ball family. Mike Ball, Nicole Ball, Carter Ball, younger brother Carter Ball, a local hockey legend, and his older brother Smithers Ball. I'm like, this is the greatest thing ever. Branjo says, not trying to bug anyone, but I didn't see the Patreon posted from last night. I think I might have. Let me double check that because I could have swore I did post it. I thought I heard from Rick S. that it wasn't posted too, so that would be more than one person who said that. Okay, now this is it. This is the Patreon. It says it's posted. Edit post. Maybe I did something wrong on the settings. There it is. I did do something wrong. Damn it. I made it only available to tier 2. That means that Rick S. is correct because he had said to me, he was the first person to tip me off about that. You are correct, period. I double checked, period. It is posted now. If you folks ever find that you've discovered that the free pay or the Patreon is not available, like the audio or something like that, immediately reach out to me, eric@ericzaneshow.com, and then I will correct it ASAP. So thank you to the balls for that. Branjo says I didn't want to get hollered at. There is no way I would holler at any of you for that. Not at all. I wouldn't do that. I would not do that. I would not holler at you. The only people, like I hollered badly yesterday, but no, I think back to the times that I've gotten pissed off on this show. I would never, ever get pissed off at you if you're like, hey, I mean, it's something you pay for. Easy, I don't see it. What am I doing wrong? I will help you troubleshoot that all the time. I'm sad that you think that I would have hollered at you. No. I only want to help. How flattering it is that you would be interested in the silly things that are in my brain that come out of my mouth. By the way, someone suggested to me, side note, that the fact that I have the dogs in the background makes this an unprofessional podcast. And I said, why would you say that? Well, most podcasters have like a green screen and, some type of artwork behind them, maybe a cityscape. And I said, there is literally no way in hell I would ever even dream of that. Why? And I'm like, well, first of all, this is the way it's been from the very beginning. Granted, I could probably use a paint job back there and some decor, but I like the decor I have. I've got a picture of fucking Daisy on the wall that Nikki C made. I got a Blues Brothers concert poster and a shelf with various knickknacks. There's a picture of my dogs that you can't see but is back there. True, I need some spackle and to fix the kicked-in door. But who gives a shit? And even if that was the case, you're bitching about the dogs. I love the dogs here. And you know why that is so important that it needs to remain the same? My audience loves the way this is. What a silly thing to even suggest. There's probably no other podcasters that exist that operate this way with their dogs in the shot. I mean, give me a fucking break. That is that is like honestly one of the best parts. There have been some amazing moments because of the dogs. Bob says, still waiting for the dedicated puppy cam. Here it is. It's here. I got it. It's still in the box since the last time I touched it. Basically, though, that the puppy cam is basically going to be what you see here behind me in the background, just a different angle. And I would have to be in a smaller screen. So, I don't know. Yes, I will, but I'm not going to leave it up all the time while I'm doing the broadcast. All right. So it went down the road that $1,000. I called Megan, and I said to her, I've got $1,000. She couldn't believe it. She's so happy. I go, what do I do with this money? I don't want it in my possession. I don't want to have to spend it. Yeah, I want you to spend it. I don't have time to spend it. And so she got to think. She got to thinking about possibly buying children's medicines. Now that comes up because we had a bunch of medicines donated, but from Perigo, local company, in years past. And I guess that is not an option this year and there was a big hit. People loved getting the free medicine for their kids. So she's like, okay, maybe we'll buy some medicine. I go, yeah, whatever you want to do. So she talked to the board of directors, and she's part of that. And they all decided the tribe has spoken that fuck those kids. Now, Megan would never say that, but Stevie, who loves abortion, she said, no, I do not want to help any children. And then I said, it's about time somebody said it. Children get enough help. I agree with that. I think we need to start being meaner to children in general. Now, that's just my opinion. So all of the purchases are being made for Team Pink. And I guess yesterday, 200 packages of various feminine hygiene products were purchased with Ball family cheddar. So that means that's a huge boost. Now, I don't know if that means everybody's getting tampons, but it sure means that there's a lot more than we had before. And there were a lot that rolled in. Now, for the Great Food Giveaway next Tuesday, if you want to arrive bearing gifts, kind of like the three kings, what did they bring Jesus? What is the Bible story? They bring frankincense, myrrh, and was it gold? You can bring gifts of a maxi pad, a panty liner, a period cup, or tampons. And when you arrive, just give it to Megan. She'll handle it. If we have more than enough, they will be given away. There's a local women's shelter, and they donate them to that organization. How great is that? I recommend that if you just want to show up, we'll be getting there at about 1 p.m. on Tuesday the 23rd. The cars will be lined up probably at about then because this will be bigger than ever. We're giving away more food than we ever have. 225 meals. Bags of apples from Gunner. Nyblad Orchards, thank you. Bags of pet food from Grand Rapids Pit Bull Alliance. Afterwards, we're going to the Beltline Bar. In the past, people have requested that food be delivered, and we cannot do that. Everybody wants to participate. All the volunteers want to actually be there, and I said I agree with that 100%. We have to stick to one thing and one thing only, and that is standing there, giving away food, not allowing Escalades to get free food. And I still haven't yet figured that out. I don't think we can actually do that. Like if Guy rolls up in a Corvette, I don't think we can actually, I want to. I want to actually say to the guy, dude, you got a Corvette and and the guy behind you has a 1995 Chevy Beretta. Are you sure you need this? I want to ask, what does Megan think about all that? Like, Megan, if we see the line of cars and it goes, Chevy Nova, Pinto, Chevette, or perhaps, a Duster, and then it goes 2025 Escalade. I know we have a sign that says one per car. Megan says, I think you're going to be learning to work on cars if you keep talking like this. No great food giveaway customers for you. I don't know what you mean. I need to know. I need some input. I need some guidance from you. Do we have a car judge who is part of the operation? Can you offer me anything? Interesting bit of TID. Let's see. God, thank you. Alan sent me that along. That's fantastic. Thank you. All right. I guess I can share this. I started the show today, and someone has already screenshot what I'm doing and is watching it on their phone and taking the screenshot of what's happening right now. And then they posted it, like whoever Matt Sinkovich is. And he wrote, it's amazing how 10 years later, FBHW still live rent-free in his head. I don't know what you're talking about. I haven't even mentioned them. Look at, there's an image of what's happening right now. It says 10:02, so that must be like Central Time. So at 10:02 Central Time, 3 minutes ago from when I'm talking right now, someone snapped this picture, rushed over to a Facebook page, posted it, and then did all that shit. Why? I'm not even talking about them. It's amazing how 10 years later, FBHW still live rent-free in his head. And then there's another post that is shown. It shows from early, what was that, 2 days ago. They're showing another post of mine talking about the fake sniffle supercut and all that shit. See, they think that I do this because I'm like mad. It's fantastic content. Wow. So also, when this happens, and again, I didn't ask for this, nor did I post anything there. Someone just took my shit and posted it on there. And then now everybody's going to beat the shit out of me, which is fine. I don't have a problem with that. All right? But now this helps me in great ways. I get tons of traction. I can see it on the back end of any of my pages. The analytics, when this happens, I'm like, oh, okay, that's cool. Thank you, Alan. I appreciate that. I didn't start it. I didn't say anything on that page. So they go to my page, take it, and then say, hey, look what this asshole's doing. Thank you. I'm glad that you're sharing that. Thank you very much. Okay, I get it now. Alan says, that's my screenshot, EZ. Oh, fuck. That's hysterical. Okay, now it makes sense. That's embarrassing. But let me back up. I'll back off of that then. So whoever this person is, so that's your screenshot. But this did happen. This part right here. Well, now I want to go over there and see what's up. All right. I'm kind of embarrassed that I fucked that up. Okay. It's amazing how 10 years later they still live rent-free in his head. Chris K writes, and he thanks you for sharing his post. Kyle wrote, it's crazy how you call the dude out and he takes the bait. He told me he's happy to arrange our paths crossing. I'm still waiting on that message, bud. I got all damn day. A more punchable face has never existed. Steve writes, ugh, and you just made his day by acknowledging him. He will start calling people neckbeard on this post in 3, 2. Dave says, I was happy when he left the show. He always seemed like a black spot on the show. Okay. Nicholas says, yeah, it is certainly. It's actually kind of pathetic. Alan says, imagine making an entire career off shit talking your previous employers. LOL. Okay, there we go. Outstanding. That will that'll be a big hitter. There'll be a lot of conversations that come up from that. I appreciate. I'm glad that it happened. Always. All right, thanks, buddy. I'm still embarrassed that I thought that he was watching the show and that was your phone. That's awful. But hysterical. I was going to talk more about something on my brain. It's going to be one of those shows today. These types of shows seem to be happening more and more, and I don't hate these types of shows. We were able to conclude Who Are These Free Beers last night. It was a good time. I was editing it today, and I got distracted. It is not available yet on Patreon, nor is the Ben and Eric Patreon podcast. But I will say this. I will reveal this much on the Ben and Eric Patreon podcast. I found out that there's a fucking coyote roaming the neighborhood. And I shit you not. Like, my neighbor, Aaron, lives right behind me. And he took a pic that I need to show you. Okay. Now, he lives literally right behind me. Like, whenever you hear me bitch about too loud of a lawnmower, sometimes it's the hallelujahs, but it's Aaron. Well, he notices that there's a coyote. In fact, that fence is mine. So basically, I've got a coyote in my backyard. Now, they'll attack small animals for sure. They're dicks. And there's usually not just one. So that's a bad scene. So I was freaking out because we started the show and Pooh Bear, the Ben and Eric show or whatever the fuck. And O'Neill had to go out, and I go, don't go out there. I'll let him out. But O'Neill had to go out, so I got I don't even know where it is, but I grabbed my pistol and I took the dog out, and Rebecca says, get a coyote vest for the dogs. Great idea. So Pooh Bear sat So for like 10, 15 minutes, Pooh Bear sat in on the Ben and Eric Patreon podcast. It took a little convincing. I go, hey, if I leave, will you sit in here? And she's like, no, I won't. I go, come on. Now, she's the showbiz wife. She knows. I go, you got to do it. You have to. First of all, they're going to love it. Everybody loves you. I mean, they love me, but they really love you. Cole says you better take that fucker out. It's him or your pets. Well, that's the plan. So she goes, you better call animal control so they can get a hold of it. I go, get a hold of it? I go, they're going to shoot it. I go, yeah, they're going to come kill it. She goes, oh, no. I go, what do you mean, oh, no? I go, first of all, they're nuisance. And they're so plentiful that it's a good idea to kill them. I don't even know the law in the state of Michigan, but I think that if you like see one, let's say you're driving down the road and you see like a pack of coyotes, you're supposed to drive by like a drive-by shooting and shoot them as you're driving by. They don't even want you to stop. They want you to drive by and shoot out the window. So that's a fact. I'm not just making that up and talking out of my ass. I might be. I don't know. Tyler says, yeah, if you see a coyote and you don't kill it, you can be arrested. It's true. If you're in the presence of a coyote and you don't actually get a pistol and shoot it dead or a shotgun or a rifle, you'll be arrested and charged with negligent homicide. Preemptive. That's a charge in Michigan. Bread Bull Brain Chris says she did an awesome job. All the ladies got talking. Piano Fingerbanger says, dude, your dogs are fine. You do not need to bring your AK-47 with you. Is that right? How do you know? Cole says your dogs are coyote food. Coyote season is all year. Small game fur bearer license. Nick with the great line. Remember, do not pet the coyote if you find it stumbling around the yard, foaming at the mouth. I still get a lot of grief about that from people talking about bringing in the rabid raccoon into the house. But you got to understand, I use the house as a vehicle to get it into the garage. It's the shortest path possible. So, yeah, some would say that actually a raccoon that's near death and rabid, you probably, maybe once in a while, think that it'd be a good idea to leave it alone. Just let nature take its course. But I was attempting to nurse that back. And I think that I like to help. So when I wrapped it in the towel and swaddled it and brought it in, and it was drooling rabies mouth juice onto the floor while the dogs were dancing around it, trying to play with it. Some would say that that was reckless. The dogs are not rabid. They didn't. Now, even though rabies comes in that foam, you can if they sniffed it or ingested it, they would have rabies. But nobody got rabies, so it was fine. Tyler says, I can just picture Eric wrapping a rabid coyote in a towel and bringing it through the house. All right. So you get to hear Pooh Bear lead the show on the Ben and Eric Patreon podcast. Piano Fingerbanger says, Bruce is all of us right now. Bruce on his back. Yes, he's got a full belly. He's feeling better. I gave him a Xantine. There was a lot that we did for him yesterday. 3 X-ray views cost more than $350. We got him the probiotics, which I had to work that into his food. I got him anti-nausea medication. I got him anti-diarrhea medication. And, yeah, so he is being nursed back to health. Thank you to Dr. Dykhouse over at Animal Medical Center of Wyoming, who still have opted not to be sponsors of the show. Now, sometimes people who I want to be sponsors of the show, they choose not to be sponsors of the show because of my content. Like, there was an electrician that I wanted to get on here, and he goes, yeah, the problem is we are a religious, we're Christians, so we heard your show. And I said, well, that's awesome. I mean, I am too. So this is perfect. Yeah, but you swear. Yeah. So do the people who need work done on their homes, who need an electrician from time to time. They do swear. Yeah, but we don't want people who don't swear to see that we're sponsoring you. And I said, they won't. Because they don't follow me. They follow, like, Jesus Rock and shit like that. And he goes, yeah, I don't think. I'm like, look, dude, you got to understand, I am probably the most godlike person you are ever going to meet. How many people do you know made the decision to risk his own life and save another? Okay? I am a small number of people on the planet who has made the biblically inspired tradition to donate a kidney. And I will play that card. There's a lot of perks that comes with donating a kidney. I made the decision to put myself into harm's way and to save the life of a man near death. Near death. Because I couldn't, on my watch, let him die. I knew I was going to save that man's life, my pal Jeffrey, the moment he told me he was dying. I'll never forget it. I talked to God, and you're telling me that you can't advertise on the show because you're a Christian. That is a huge pile of dog shit. Tyler says they're too focused on their Jesus shit. Don't worry about them finding me, is what I should have said. Donate kidney equals Jesus points. Brad Bull Brain Chris brings up a great thing here. He says, now that we have an American Pope, we should petition for your sainthood. Yeah. So not only did I save Jeffrey's life, but I made an effort. All right? I made an effort to save a raccoon's life. Now, granted, the cop hit it with a shovel, shot it in the head twice, threw it in a bag, and gave it to me to throw away. But Nick says, I wouldn't trust an electrician that doesn't cuss. He sounds like a huge pussy. Piano Fingerbanger now lives in Metro Detroit. Speaking of contractors, my heat has been out since Saturday. That reminds me. Show Pussy Joe Martinez is going to get his prostate surgically removed. That comes up on the 22nd, Monday the 22nd, bright and early. He will be having his love pump yanked out. Hang on, let me respond to this text. No problem, big fella, period. I have to reschedule a meeting. Scott P. also sent along some more hilarity from the Segment 18 page. Eric Zane is one of the biggest jokes in Grand Rapids. Don't know how people still associate with him. This is awesome. I didn't ask for that. What the fuck? Leave me alone. Rebecca says, exactly. Every electrician I've worked with has a potty mouth. What am I supposed to say when I get shocked? Brett Bull Brain Chris says, easy, patron saint of podcasts. Oh, by the way, we had a discussion yesterday on the Ben and Eric Patreon podcast that focused on bidets. And, oh, my God, I learned so much in that conversation, ladies and gentlemen. You will not believe this. If you have the audio podcast only on Patreon, shame on you, because you could have gotten this live. There's so much that I didn't know before that show. Piano Finger Banger says, after having a bidet, I will never go back. I want to share with you something that came in that Ben Glaze sent my way. He had it saved on his phone. I don't know if I've ever shared it with you. I can't recall. It is actually related to my dear friends over at Free Beer and Hot Wings. And it is a clip from years ago. And I think it almost seems like producer Joe in this clip was trying to get fired. In this moment, he says something incredibly graphic that gets the clip dumped. And you'll see it says censored. Like if you're watching this at home on the day it happened, you heard it and saw it on the live stream. But when Greg presses the button, that means that the folks listening on the good old-fashioned radio did not hear it. Let's get into it.
Find out more on our website at freebeerandhotwings.com. It's very interesting, though.
Sorry about the small.
Hi, my name's Joe.
Sorry about the small screen.
And some of the worst times I've ever had were when I made an orgasm and I gave myself a facial a couple of times sitting at a computer.
I don't think you can say that.
What do you mean I can't say that?
Well, you can say it.
about?
I'm just going to dump it.
Yeah.
Which part?
The graphic
all of
part
it.
Yeah.
It's just a bit much.
I think
Was
we've
it
definitely
sex act.
Maybe, but
we've talked.
This I know.
I didn't say a specific
you know,
sex
you
act.
know it's a sliding scale.
I didn't say any
there's
sex act. Not one.
What?
I
mean, that is.
This is funny. Right here, this is very funny. The reaction. So if you're listening to on the radio, you didn't hear the really nasty part, but you are hearing the follow-up.
Definitely a description.
It's vague enough.
Is it?
What else?
I don't know. I felt like I knew exactly
Let
what
me
you were
ask you
talking
this.
about.
What else would that have been?
It could be several things.
Give me one
Not
of
after
those.
the first word you used that started with an O.
Yeah, those two separate things. It could be argued.
I mean, there's nothing like putting on a face mask.
By the way, look at how young she looks. Okay? This is just a few years ago.
After a
Nothing.
good O.
Not at all.
I mean, those ones that are like, not like the shimmery ones.
Charcoal?
Yeah, or those when you wash them off and your face just looks all shiny and good again, like you're brand new.
Oh, it's so nice.
Yes, love that.
Well, how about this one?
Okay. Now he's going to rephrase it. But listen to how he rephrases it. Now, after he says it just as horribly or worse, Hot Wings shoots him a look that's like, okay, stop.
A couple of times in my past, I've orgasmed on my face. Like,
What are you doing?
How can you not say it? I've
That's
I've
way
done- I've
that's
said
way
that
worse than what you
before.
said the first time.
It's so nice.
Yes. Love that.
Well, how about this one? A couple
Okay.
of times in
All
my
right.
past, I've orgasmed on my face.
Shit. Hysterical, but true. What are you doing there?
Like,
He had
What-
to have been under the influence or something, right?
What are you doing?
how can you not say it? I've
That's
I've done-
way
I've
that's
said
way
that
worse than what you
before.
said the first time.
It's not.
By the way, that indignation that him trying to plead his case used to really upset me.
It's
It
I've
is.
said that exact same thing before.
Yeah, a minute ago when we dumped it.
Yeah,
And
when
even
it was
before that.
when it was not as blatant as that. What
Yeah.
are you doing?
Steve, go ahead. He's lost his mind.
This is crazy.
It's
Don't
not-
ask me.
It
I'm queen
definitely
of getting
is.
dumped. I don't know.
I am Steve, and one of my life's biggest disappointments is never learning how to surf.
Okay, so that's it. Wow. Thank you, Ben Glaze, for sending that along. That is a fantastic clip. Very funny. Bob says, good villages don't have that type of talk. Tyler says, this is a family show. Bread Bowl Brain Chris adds, the marriage divorce put a few years on her. Alan says, what a follow-up, Steve. Thank you, Ben Glaze, for sending that along. I was talking earlier about Impact Power Sports, key sponsor of the show. Call upon them for a Yamaha golf cart. You can also bang on their door for an ATV, UTV, e-bike, motorcycle, dirt bike, scooter, go-kart, snowmobile, lawnmower. Oh, my God, so much. If you have problems with your existing gear, they've got a full service department that they can work with you. They're in Rockford, Michigan. More information at impactpowersportsmi.com. Tandem jumps starting as low as $249 at Skydive Grand Haven. I had somebody reach out to me and say, Easy, kudos to you for saying Grand Haven correctly. You have to emphasize the Haven. You can't emphasize the Grand. If you say Grand Haven, you sound like an asshole. It's Grand Haven. Someone says Grand Haven, you got to punch them in the fucking face. You can see all of Grand Haven and the surrounding shoreline when you jump out of an airplane. Tandem jumps, $249. As low as $249. You go to skydivegrandhaven.com and click on shop, gift certificates, and away you go. Awesome stuff there. They are the best. We'll be skydiving in the very first Eric Zane Show podcast, Audience Sky/Air Orgy. And it's going to be a fantastic event. And when you purchase a $249 tandem jump, let me know, and I will let you know. I will let you know by adding you to the mailing list of the date that the air orgy is going to take place. So you can you can jump with me, or you can do it on your own. Up to you. SkydiveGrandhaven.com. This makes a great gift, and if you give somebody the gift of a skydive for the holidays, and by the time I get done talking about this, you can have it purchased at SkydiveGrandhaven.com. This is a gift someone will never, ever forget. Okay? Let's say you give it to them, and they're like, I don't want to do this. You can get your money back. But odds are you're going to know somebody who is a daredevil. And you didn't even have to be a daredevil. It's just maybe like an adrenaline junkie. That's another way of saying it. I look forward to doing this. I had no intention of jumping out of an airplane until, of course, the the good folks at Skydive Grand Haven said, you have to. You're going to love this, Easy. And I said, yeah, whatever. Okay, let's do it. SkydiveGrandHaven.com. I have an insurance guru. That would be Frank Fuss. So if you are in between jobs, perhaps you're self-employed or your boss does not offer health care, you need to reach out to Frank Fuss, and he will help you get all that you need set up for your healthcare.gov policy. And I've got a story about that a little later on that I want to talk to you about. But this is what you do, because you could do this yourself by just going to healthcare.gov and figuring it out on your own, but it takes time and you might mess it up. Frank will do it for you, and it costs you no money. He doesn't charge for his services. He gets paid by the healthcare industry when he puts people into policies. That's what my man does. All right. So some guy was in the hospital, and they took apart his head because he had brain surgery, and then they went to put him back together again, and they didn't have the part that they cut out to put him back together again. And then they said, sorry, we lost your skull, and we're going to make it up to you, and we're giving you a $25 gift card. Now, when I first saw Tyler's comment, he wrote, subject line, hospital fuck up. Whoops, sorry we lost your skull chunk. Here's a $25 gift card for your troubles. I thought, well, that's hysterical, but there's no way that happened. And then you click on the story, and that's exactly what happened. They lost the guy's head, his chunk, his skull chunk. You know, sometimes, and I don't know if that's the case in this scenario, but sometimes they'll cut out a piece while a brain is swelling to relieve pressure to keep you from dying. And then they'll put it back together. Or like Chris here, he had brain surgery 2 months ago. Very successful brain surgery. That would be like them saying, hey, we forgot the rest. We don't know where the rest of your head is. We threw it away. They had to put the skull cap back on, my man. Very successful surgery. Fascinated by that whole thing, by the way. All right. So now you can only imagine the outrage over this deal. The family is pissed off.
A hospital loses part of a patient's skull and, as an apology, offers a $25 gift card. That's what's prompting a lawsuit against Ascension St. John Hospital, now Henry Ford St. John. It's a case lawyers say will hold the health system accountable. We thank you so much for joining us here for the News at 11. I'm Kimberly Gill.
And I'm Ty Steele. The woman had surgery back in 2023 to relieve pressure on the brain following the stroke that she had had. Once
I thought it was a guy.
Swelling went down, she returned to have part of her skull reattached.
However, when she got there for that operation, that skull was nowhere to be found. Noel Friel spoke to the woman's family.
Kimberly Gill's a smoke show.
Tonight, Noel, they say her condition went downhill after doctors were forced to pivot.
What is the pivot?
The family of Edna Burton tells me she worked at Henry Ford St. John Hospital for more than 20 years. So when she suffered a stroke in 2023, they knew she was in good hands. But after she underwent surgery to remove a part of her skull, months later, when it was time to reattach it, they say they were in disbelief when the hospital told them they had lost it.
It ain't even about the money. Like, y'all don't even know what y'all took from us.
It was June of 2023 when Burton underwent a hemocraniectomy where part of her skull was removed to relieve pressure on her brain. She had the surgery in the same OR unit where she worked for over 2 decades. Months later, as she was being prepped to undergo surgery to have the piece reattached, her family learned it was gone.
Her boss come down that she worked for years, Jennifer. She says, Edna, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Now, this is like a day or so later. I'm so sorry. I really don't know what happened. I don't know how this could happen. She in tears.
According to a lawsuit filed in Wayne County Circuit Court, the hospital mixed up her bone flap with the bones of a woman named Edna Brown. The hospital then paid for a prosthetic plate to use as a replacement. The family says hospital staff offered them a $25 gas card as an apology.
They lost the brain flap. Okay, well, they did. At least they put the prosthetic on. And they might be like, this is just as good.
Gas card.
But I don't think so. I mean,
as an apology.
They found it to be very insulting.
Attorney Cameron Bell is representing the family in the lawsuit. After the prosthetic piece was attached, Morton's family.
This poor thing. Okay. She's had a bad. All right. This lady's had a rough go.
Family says her health rapidly declined. She now lives in a nursing home, is bedbound, and uses a feeding tube. Bell says the hospital maintains her decline was not caused by the prosthetic.
We don't know that. They might have a hard time convincing people that the losing the skull part is the problem.
It's asinine that, they're suggesting that she's better off with the artificial skull compared to her natural God-given chunk of her skull.
Burton's family says they want the hospital to be held accountable.
They could say that it all what she's going through stemmed from a stroke. How do we know? Y'all threw her bone. Y'all didn't even give it a chance.
It's important to note that Henry Ford Health took over operations at the hospital after what happened to Burton. We reached out to Ascension Health for a comment on this lawsuit and so far have not heard back. Reporting live, Noelle Frio, Local 4.
This whole thing is just hard to take in. Noelle, thank you for covering that.
What happened to the bone flap? Bob says at least there's a prosthetic replacement. My uncle had a divot big enough you could place a golf ball in it. Tyler says, can you imagine if her old job there was skull flap caretaker? Patrick says you offer nothing if your lead offer is a $25 gas card. David says, why did they wait months to reattach it? Not sure. Maybe it was to heal. Tyler says, I can't not laugh every time I hear about the $25 gas card. Bread Bowl Brain Chris says, wow, 7 gallons of gas for all that. Yeah. Who do you think at the hospital was given the duty of informing the family or the lady or whatever? I don't think she can communicate. I think she's pretty much a disaster. That for your troubles, to actually have to voice that, say, hey, here, take this gas card as a sign of we know what you've been through and we will never forget. So buy this $25 gas card as a token of our concern and this troubling incident. We hope that we can put this to bed now that you have a $25 gas card. Bread Bowl Brain Chris says, now every time she revs up the microwave, she pisses her pants and forgets her name for half an hour. Apparently, that's a reference to something funny because it gets an A+ from Branjo and says, great reference. I don't know it. Please reveal it. My God. Christmas Vacation. Big hit movie this time of year. Yeah, so okay, let's talk about dollars and cents here. There's no way that this lawsuit sees the light of day. It's going to be settled out of court, no doubt. But what do you ask for? This has to be one where you ask for like an insane amount of money. $100 million, and then you settle for like $3,000. My God, $25 gas card. Jesus. Tyler says her skull chunk is in some landfill now. Here's a $25 gift card to Lids so you can get a hat to cover that hole in your head. Cole writes. Bob says, don't want to go sledding with only a piece of government plastic between the ground and her brain. We've decided to really up the ante for your suffering and offer you a $100 gas card. This is so bad. I mentioned to you that about the healthcare thing. So as it stands, people like me who get healthcare from the marketplace, healthcare.gov, Obamacare, Affordable Care Act. The way it works out is the taxpayers pay for a tax credit. Well, they don't pay for it. You're given a tax credit ahead of time on your taxes. So that pays for your insurance through the marketplace. Not all of it. You pay for a portion of it. So Pooh Bear and I, for the policy that we have had, I pay a certain amount each month, and the tax subsidy pays for the rest. And then at the end of the year, provided I don't go over a certain amount that I've earned, I utilize the credit. So the Republicans, remember that deal where the government was shut down? That was the big sticking point. So they kicked it down the road, kind of, and now it's set to expire in January. Remember they were all saying to Chuck Schumer, he quit fighting and gave up. He did. And so now all these folks like me will be faced with higher insurance costs if you do nothing, if you just let your policy from the previous year go over into the next year. Fortunately, I have Frank Fuss, and I did not do that. I bought a different policy that is not as extravagant, so it's cheaper. So I don't experience anything bad, which is what you should all do. It's what I told you to do. Hopefully you did it if you get your insurance this way. However, there's still, all the Democrats want those COVID era, pandemic era subsidies that lower the health care insurance costs to remain in place. But there's not enough Democrats to force a vote in the House. You need 218. There's 214. They don't have enough sway in Congress, in the House of, what do you call it again? What is that called? The House. The fuck is my problem? House of Representatives. That's the word I was looking for. So they're 4 shy. And then all of a sudden yesterday it was announced that 4 Republicans broke and joined the Democrats. So that's forcing a vote. 4 Republicans defied Speaker of the House Johnson, and they are forcing a vote on extending the subsidies. And I think that it might pass now because 4 of the Republicans have turned on their own party. Now, these were the type of Republicans who are kind of like in the middle. They're called centrists, I guess. I don't know. But they weren't comfortable with the idea of, 65 million Americans getting fucked in the butt, which, again, I have said that it's kind of, I can't say that I support the current setup. Like, I am ready to accept that I might just have to pay for all of my own health care out of my pocket, and I'll figure that shit out on my own. But Congress is saying, no. And most people in Congress now are saying, not everybody is as great as you, EZ, and can pivot like that. So because of that, we need these COVID-era subsidies remaining in place. Okay? Now, they didn't ask me about it, and I don't think they will. I say, fuck them. Let these people figure it out on their own. They're grown adults. They can pay for their own goddamn insurance. But the House is saying, no way. No way. So because of this saga now, this is new. This just happened yesterday. So now there is an intra-party clash over health care, and it will take there's going to be a vote now. The moderate Republicans, it has their names, who were able to force the issue by signing the petition are led by Democratic leader Hakeem Jeffries of New York, that would vote on a bill that would extend the subsidy for 3 years. They are Republican Representatives Brian Fitzpatrick, Robert Bresnahan, Ryan McKenzie. They are all from Pennsylvania. And Mike Lawler, another Republican from New York. They signed on yesterday morning to get them 218. They will now vote as soon as January under House rules. Johnson told reporters, because they were saying, you've lost control of your own house. What the fuck are you doing? He says, no, I didn't. He noted that Republicans have a razor-thin majority that allows a small number of members to employ procedures that would not usually be successful in getting around leadership. He said these are not normal times. The revolt against the GOP came after days of talks centered on the health care subsidies. Johnson had discussed allowing more politically vulnerable GOP lawmakers a chance to vote on bills that would temporarily extend the subsidies while also adding changes such as income caps for beneficiaries. But after days of discussions, the leadership sided with the more conservative wing of the party's conference, which has assailed the subsidies as propping up a failed Obamacare program. Well, now it looks like it might blow up in Johnson's face. My God. So that's very interesting. Bread Bull Brain Chris says Trump will throw a tantrum. Molly says, I can't make a comment, but just want to say happy holidays to you all. My apologies for that, my dear. I had to change the comments to subscriber only because I had a major thing happen yesterday that made this a necessary thing. Sorry for that. Clown of Carnage says, Trump already said it would require some extension. Thank you, Branjo, for telling me it's the House of Representatives. How about Bruce there? For extended time now, he has been sound asleep on his actual back with his paws in the air. Outstanding. O'Neill, warm. Again, 2 coats of fur laying on the ground. on the carpet. All right. Thank you, as always, to the sponsors. Hello to Kuiper Tree Care. If you need a tree taken care of on your property, maybe some storm damage, ice storm, whatever the hell, call them. You can find them online at kuipertreecare.com. Maybe it can wait till it warms up. When it does, that's who you call. You can call or text anytime, 616-828-8225. They are working now, but I don't think they're doing anything that big of a deal. Seasonal workers, you know. You might find the guy there who's repairing the chainsaws. But still, thank you to them for sponsoring the show and being part of it during the off season. Still at 616-828-8225. All right. There's potential that this show is over. Not like for good, but just today. I am lean on content. That comes hot on the heels of yesterday, having to end the show early. My apologies for that. Sometimes this happens. Unless, of course, you have a question about anything. On the always pivotal Eric Zane Show podcast, Ask Me Anything, that could take us in one of any direction. All right. In fact, let me check out, I don't know what I can do to pass the time. Not pass the time, but actually do something interesting. Side note, the Grand Rapids Griffins yesterday, they were on the road playing like the worst team in the league, coached by Ben Simon, that piece of shit. And they were down 2-0 to the Iowa Wild in Iowa. And then they scored 5 straight goals. That makes it 25 games, 23 wins. And I think they've won 12 in a row. Like, they started out the year winning 8 in a row. But I'm pretty sure now the winning streak is back on another heater of 12 games. Incredible. All right. Why is this chat subscriber only? Details, please. Perhaps you're here late. I would love to tell you. I really would. Not a problem at all that you asked. Not a problem at all that you asked. But it is the only way to keep as much distance as possible from a scenario that causes me an incredible amount of stress. And just when I think I've gotten free of it, it manifests again, and I am put right back into this awful state of mind, and that happened yesterday. Birch Barlow says it's an easy money grab. Sarcasm. Patreon story, maybe? Nope. Not going to do that. I will say this. If you are not able to chat because you haven't subscribed, I can point out to you that you can subscribe for free with your Amazon Prime account. All right? That is free, but you have to do it manually once a month. There's a way to do it. I don't know how. I've never had to do this. Some of you do know how. I should probably have a tutorial. Maybe the internet is your friend. How can I link my Twitch to Amazon, my Amazon Prime account? There is a way to do it. And you get one free a month, one show, one Twitch stream to subscribe to once a month. So if you have it, definitely do that if you are not subscribed. All right, so there you go. I'm reasonably sure that there was a person on the chat who isn't who they say they were. And I don't want anything to do with that person at all. That led to an intensely satisfying rage out yesterday, and I'm so glad I did. You know, I need to take care of me. I'm bullish on me these days. I don't, for the longest time, when it came to my relationships, I would get pissed and then apologize in my relationships. And I have, as I've gotten older, I no longer do that. When the relationships end, they stay ended, and I prefer it that way. Let's see. Comments about your old pal EZ on the Beautiful Segment 18 Facebook page. Someone took one of my posts and wrote, "It's amazing how 10 years later they still live rent-free. EZ, Freebeer and Hot Wings still live rent-free in Eric's head." Let's see. "When he was let go, I felt bad for him at first. Even tried to follow his podcast. But then he was just so petty and spiteful, which is tragically demeaning coming from me, who still holds a grudge over being teased in 3rd grade. I personally have trouble when it comes to letting things go. But his incessant ranting and nonstop whining in his sad attempts to call out the guys is amazingly embarrassing. I'm not saying he would physically harm anyone, but his level of obsession makes me think he should be evaluated by a psychologist for any level of risk to himself or others. I'm sure he loves his family and would only want good things for them, but he has to step away from this psychosis. Maybe he can seek professional help and start a new life." Wow. This person wrote, "I fully support all the break-ins and donate to it also. But it annoys me so much how they focus on we're crying, we're going to cry so much. We get it. Just let it happen naturally and quit talking about how you're going to cry so much. It bugs the shit out of me." Can't stand Free Bear's fake sniffles, is this person. Let's see. I've never seen someone so dedicated to being this miserable. Randy says, "I feel like one day we will hear he's put himself out of his own misery." Oh, my God. James says, "Poor guy. We all have our struggles. Tossing hate at the holiday break-ins, just kind of like a sucker fish leeching off their content." I'd be curious, truly, to the intent with this. And the best part is you are curious. That's what I'm shooting for. Very well could be a disability or on the spectrum like myself, which I would never joke around with. Kind of a weird flex, stepping on people for attention on yourself. Paul says Eric is pure trash. To bash the break-ins shows absolutely no class at all. Okay, look, I have said that it's theater, that the fake sniffles are the problem. I've never said that they're not giving away free shit to people. Okay, that's all. That's been covered. I've said that, no problem. But people believe what they want to believe. Okay? That's what I have said is with my own ears and eyes, because I did the holiday break-ins. You get a story about a lady who's got 2 kids and they're poor, and somebody nominates them. And then you go ahead and you add a significant level of details to it for the theater portion. You know? Yeah, she's just trying to do the right thing. She volunteers at a soup kitchen despite having both arms and legs amputated. Each of her 9 kids have cancer, AIDS, or polio. She lives in a tent on the side of a river, and we just want to do the right thing. It's that shit. Okay? So that's the theater that's involved. They tell you that they changed the details. They actually say it. I've seen the details. Okay? I know what's happening here. That's all I'm saying. And I feel that they milk it to be this great bullshit event where people who don't even have room in their houses for 5 gifts get 5,000 gifts and end up selling them all anyway. Cole says, what fucking pussy posted that? Let's see. That would be Matt Sinkovich. First thing I always do is I always check what these people look like. This is Matt. Cute wife, unless that's his sister. Or is that someone famous? Faceless. There's no way he's married to her. Okay, but again, you see, look at him. He's disgusting. If I had an audience member that looked like that, I would be begging for an intervention. Something's wrong there. Boy, did he outkick the coverage. She is so cute. Oh, my God. What a mismatch disaster. That's a nice pick. I don't understand. This guy must have a huge dong. Man. All right, so there you go. That's the type. I hope she's got like a backup husband because that guy's not going to live that long. Cole says the real details. This lady's poor and fat and has 6 kids with 6 guys. Here's some free shit. Tyler says, let's take a look at the profile pics. Exactly. That always makes me feel better. Whenever I see the profile pics and I see how disgusting these people are, I always feel better. Sometimes they go to great lengths to try to make me feel bad. Sometimes it gets to me. Most times it doesn't. I would never, ever feel bad after somebody who looks like that has said something about me. All right? Linda says a big crank wouldn't get me over that face or body. Right. I think we've got a Pooh Bear sighting. I just heard the garage door open.
Hello?
Hey, you home?
Yeah, I just walked in the door.
Everybody's raving about you yesterday.
They're what?
They're raving about your appearance hosting the
yeah?
show. Yeah. It was
I
fantastic.
should do it again.
Yeah. They love you.
Oh, dear. I love them.
I don't know what you talked about. Well, no,
Yes,
I
I
think
love
you
the-
told me. You talked about my ding dong, I think.
You're long gone.
Okay.
Of a day.
All right. What was I going to say? Okay, so that's it. You got and is there a half day tomorrow too?
Yeah.
Okay, and then you got like what, about 6 weeks off?
Yeah, just till the, I don't know,
New
3rd
Year.
or whatever that is.
All right, that's good.
Yeah.
All
I
right.
got to work at the Y a few days.
Okay.
Okay. I'll take a nap.
I don't have to go anywhere. My meeting got canceled because I guess the roads are turning icy.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's good.
Okay. Very good.
Okay.
Much love.
Sounds good. Okay, love you.
Okay, love you too. Bye. All right. Merchant Automotive reminds you that if your vehicle has an Allison transmission or a Duramax engine, that's where you take it. In Zeeland, Michigan, merchant-automotive.com. When you go to their website, they have a whole slew of kits that they fabricate on their own to improve the performance of your vehicle. Anybody who's a DIY pro knows how this works. All right? You can also buy specific parts, filters, engine gasket kits, if you need that, axle and differential kits. Can you buy an Allison transmission? I think you can. Hey, can I get a new Allison transmission? Sure. That'll be $5,899, please. How about this Merchant Automotive rear housing support for your Allison transmission? That's just $149.63. Say what? You need an Allison 1000 deep pan kit with deep filter lock, Duramax 2001 to 2019? That'll be $179.64. See what I mean? They have everything. That's why they have hundreds of thousands of people that follow them on Facebook and buy parts from them from all around the world. And I'm just scratching the surface. That's page 1 of 219 pages of products. And they make all this shit. Okay? They fabricate everything. What? You need an Allison transmission drain plug with seal? I'll take one for $7.34. Thank you very much. The website is merchant-automotive.com. The asshole of the day is now. Do you have any suggestions? I did not do the asshole of the day yesterday. I kind of just bailed. Stevie says that hospital is the asshole of the day. I'm also getting nominations for Segment 18 fans. I love the Segment 18 fans. They look like shit. They smell like shit. But I need them. And I appreciate them commenting on me. It helps me spread the word about what I'm the biggest fan of. Me. So I can't make it them. The asshole of the day is the Skull Flap Hospital. Congratulations to you. You've earned that. Folks, thanks for being here. I'll join you tomorrow with a Friday edition of the Eric Zane Show podcast. I'm going to tell you this right now. I am going to start precisely at 9 a.m. Hand to God, stack of Bibles, 9 a.m. start time tomorrow. Just a reminder, because typically, obviously I didn't start at 10 a.m. today. I started at like 10:40. But tomorrow, I am officially starting at 9 a.m. Thank you for being here always for me. Thank you for supporting the Great Food Giveaway. We did it. I appreciate you so much. And I can't wait to see you all. I don't have my music ready, so I got to stall. I could just sign off, but I don't want to do that. Sorry about the ear rape. That's going to do it. Till next time, bye-bye.